Awesome. So I'm so excited to have you on the Business Owner Spotlight series and learn a little bit about your company just looking online. Super excited to hear your story. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Kayla to tell you more about her and her company.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me today. My name is Kayla Goldman. I'm the founder and CEO of Sunny Collabs. We are a Tampa-based creative agency where we offer social media management, content creation, influencer management, and influencer events for businesses all over, not just in the Tampa region, but our team is based here in Tampa.
Oh, cool. Very cool. And how many team members do you have and what are kind of their skill sets that they add to the team?
Yeah, so I launched the company in August of 2021. So we're a fairly young company, but we do have 12 full-time employees.
Oh,
And they all are dedicated to one of our four departments. So we have a team of a talent director and talent coordinators that oversee all of our models and influencer relationships. And then we also have a creative director and creative or content coordinators who oversee all of our contracted creators that we're giving opportunities to, as well as the content deliverables. And then we have our outreach and relationships team that manage all of our account relationships and all the brands that we work with.
very cool. So I love that organization of how you think about things. And when you kind of started the company versus where you are now, what was really the thought process behind the need in the market or what you were
Yeah.
seeing others weren't doing?
For sure. So during COVID, I saw how so many brands had to pivot kind of on the fly, leading into a full digital strategy, whether they had one or not. They were suddenly forced to have one and to communicate with their community, their staff, and their customers all through social. And so we saw a big gap in the market to be able to provide content and messaging like influencer marketing to brands on a local level that was super affordable and super efficient. We wanted to be a one-stop shop for that. And we found that most small businesses are currently outsourcing to agency. So we were able to be like a nice creative partner for them, or the owner or manager whose highest and best use is not running social media is the one running social media because it's such a small structure. So we wanted to be able to meet brands where they were at and help businesses focus on their core competency, which is their product, experience, or service that they have, while we take
Yeah.
communicating that.
Wow, that's awesome. And I know like so many businesses that are so managing themselves wonder like, is this a good use of time? Does social media even work? Just a lot of questions like that. What are some of the things that you've found are helpful or maybe even success stories of cases like that are pretty common and how you've gotten results or what that looks like for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with brands, like I said, of all different sizes. So our smaller businesses that are based here in Tampa, due to budget constraints, they usually are kind of owner operator running their marketing. And so they might know their brand voice. They might know kind of the technical know-how of how to post something on social, but they cannot or should not spend hours creating content every week. So in those relationships, we're able to just batch create content and give it to them, which saves them a lot of time, but also because they're the ones in their social managing it day to
Mm.
day, they still have that control and can save a little on that front. And so one of the clients that we work with, we cut their customer acquisition cost in half by just replacing their content. So nothing
Wow.
changed about their strategy. They were still doing paid, they were still doing social, Instagram and TikTok, but the owner was no longer having to create content or ask someone while they're at work to take out their phone and create content, right? And so we see relationships like that. And then there are brands where we are their full creative partner as well as their social partner. So we're doing all content and running their social. And when we
Mhm.
do that, we're able to see directly, the full funnel of how that content is used. All of our clients that are on social media with us, we have a 90% retention rate for 12 months or more. So that alone speaks to how much, we've only been in business 2 years, so I'm sure it'll be
Yeah.
over time, right? But that allows us to really be their strategy partner all the way through. We don't want them, social media is one of the most important things you can do for a business, but it's often like the least important thing for the owner to be doing,
Yeah.
where we try to help. Or if they do have a marketing manager or social media manager, hopefully they might be tasked with bigger strategy, some higher level thinking, and then we're also able to just be their content partner.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think what you said too is so key that, a lot of them don't realize that you're leveraging the knowledge across many platforms, even big businesses that are a little bigger and spend a little more than they do. So you're
Mhm.
learning lessons that you can give to those who don't have the money to really spend to learn that, which, that addition to them not spending their time on things that aren't the best use
Yeah,
of
exactly.
time
Time
or
is
takes them
money.
way longer,
Yeah,
or their team
a
way
hundred
longer than you
percent.
do.
And we
That
see
makes
it
a lot of
with
sense.
e-com too. Like we work with quite a few large CPG
Mm,
e-commerce brands, and they do have very robust marketing departments, but they all need content.
yeah.
And so the bigger the brand you are, the more platforms you need to post on, the more often you need to post. And so we were able to again relieve them by providing them with a volume of content every quarter, every month.
Very cool. Are you doing any custom content where you actually, because I remember last time we were talking, you were talking about going into a photo shoot. Like, is that a common thing where you're actually going
Yeah.
and creating content for them? Like that's
Oh
personal.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We go on location. So if they have like a brick and mortar or storefront, we go on location, or if they don't and they're a product-based business, then we can take their product. We have over 30 approved locations in Tampa, from gyms, beaches, restaurants,
Cool.
hotels, pickleball courts, pools, anything that can look neutral. So we are a really great e-com partner because we include models, props, and locations
Hmm.
in all of our packages. So they're like, great, take this one product and make it look like it was done across 20 different cities, and we can.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad I asked that.
Yeah,
So like that's a little unique and it shows the talent and the versatility of your team that you have built
totally.
too.
Yeah.
So for you, when you look at kind of what's happened, and you're a younger company, but a lot has happened in your since your exception and what was going on in the market. Are there any like real changes you've made that are still stuck around that you kind of pivoted to or learned in that time period, or anything that you're really pivoting to now because it's changing again? Kind of give me your insight on what you're seeing from your marketing side of the world.
Yeah, well, I think there's so many platforms that are coming out. I think TikTok really had this revolution during 2020, which scientifically like cut people's attention spans by almost a second. And
Wow.
so that alone, the shift to video, right, is like an ever evolving thing. There's still a lot of nuances between Instagram and TikTok, and then X and Threads and all these different platforms. So the biggest thing for us is helping just stay focused on where's your core customer, where's your community, and then just create the best content for them there, rather than making one video and throwing it on the wall to 20 different platforms and hoping it
Yeah.
sticks. Different audiences go to different platforms for different reasons. I, as a user, go to TikTok for something very different than Instagram. So I don't want to see the brand posting the same thing on both. So we really, that's probably been the biggest shift and hurdle, because it's just a volume of content and keeping up. So
Yeah.
for us, it's been more about concentrating and niching down and trying to help brands not get was it like shiny object syndrome, and they're like, new
Yes.
platform, I have to be on this. It's like, you don't have to be on anything. You have to be on what makes sense for you and your customer and where they are, which might be Facebook, like
Right.
it's not always everything. So that's probably been the biggest hurdle, is just navigating all the information that's coming. And everyone has a different opinion. If you ask 100 different marketing agencies, they're going to tell you 100 different things on what platform does what and why. So for us, it's just been about concentrating and knowing what serves our brands best, and us not getting distracted by all the stuff.
Right. Yeah, because it's easy just to do the more, but really you take an approach of where's the most wallet share instead of volume. Like, where are we going to get the best customer for the return for what we're doing?
Totally, 100%. So yeah, just helping brands focus, and then bite by bite taking on something new. But better to do one thing really well than have a bunch of okay platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And, just from my perspective, we really teach businesses that marketing is math. So it can be as creative as possible, but it doesn't always mean it's making a return on investment for you. And it really
Yeah.
needs to do that. So I know, I'm sure you measure things too. Are there things that you specifically pay attention to in the social media world, or on another piece of the pie that you're really dominating that you pay the most attention to that others really should be?
Yeah, so we do a lot of social listening, and then focusing on like
Mm,
organic social. We do offer paid social too, but more on the organic side, which unfortunately you only get the insights that you get from the platform. So you can go viral, but that doesn't mean it means sales the same way you
right.
can track or embed a link on a paid campaign. So, short of doing a promo code. So for us, we really focus on all the organic stats, right? Like, what is your brand awareness? Are your followers going up? Are you getting engagement? And then from a social listening, like, how many tags are you getting? Are you getting DMs? Does it seem
Mhm.
like people are talking about you, more of like a PR kind of optic?
Yeah.
And then obviously the brands can just hear, like, if it's a restaurant, they might say, oh, we got so many people, coming in from social. I did a campaign in July, a Christmas in July campaign for a restaurant group. It was all organic, no paid strategy. And the whole push was just go to link in bio and make a reservation for your
Mm.
event holiday bookings. Like, start thinking Christmas in July, think now about your holiday parties in December. And that yielded like a oh God, like a 4,000% return on investment because
Wow.
all they had to do was pay for the videos, which I think was like $1,600 for like 7 or 8 videos. And then from there, they ended up getting almost $64,000 in holiday bookings with,
Wow.
minimum spend. So it's like that's just a straight organic campaign. But if you don't have something to measure against, you're just going off of brand awareness, which is important too.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that you said that because I think a lot of businesses don't always think strategically or ask their marketing agency to be more strategic about offerings and things that can be tested like that more directly. So that's a
We
great
get a lot of,
example of it. That's
yeah,
awesome.
we get a lot of brands that are like, how do I go viral? And it's right, like what for what? Like if you're, it's like you want to have sustained success, or if
Right.
you are going to go viral, you want it to be for something that is actually like indicative of your brand. Like I've seen, right, like a dentist might go viral for dancing and it's just one video, one trend, but then every other piece of content after that is actually not on brand with that humor or that style
Right.
anyway. So those followers are disengaged, they're going to leave. So it's like you want to go viral for who you are and the right things to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, that makes so much sense because that really leads more to sales and staying engaged over the long term.
Yeah.
So they can
Yeah.
be educated and become a client when they're ready.
Totally.
That makes so much sense. Very cool. So when you think of like an ideal customer, I'm sure you work with all different types. We do too. So I totally understand that's a hard question sometimes. But if you could think of like an ideal, the sweet spot of kind of the middle tier of your products and service offerings, like who is that business? Like give me a better idea of who that is.
Yeah, so our portfolio is biggest in terms of hospitality and
Okay.
food. I find that and fitness. I
Hmm.
think what's interesting about both of those is they're like reservation kind of consumption based businesses, so they need to post often. Right, like if you're a gym, you want to fill your classes, you want to sell memberships. If you're a restaurant, you want reservations, you want to move food, and so there's like a expectation of how often they need to post and communicate and engage. So we found
Yeah.
and same thing for e-commerce, like brands that are just moving products. So we found that those three tend to be where we are the most versus more professional individual businesses like realtors or attorneys, right? Like we don't see
Yeah.
a ton of that, but we can still work with that population, but that population should isn't as encouraged to post 5 days a week,
Yeah.
maybe that,
Yeah.
right? So that's where I think our ideal customer is someone who already sees value in social media. We're not here to like convince people that it's important. And then also is, you know, ready to defer a little to us in terms of content strategy, social strategy. They're looking for video content. They're looking for purpose behind it. Like, why are we doing what we're doing? But that they, and that they also have a great product, right? Like we don't want to market something that isn't great. So that they have a great product or a great staff or experience. And if that's all good, it's going to be very easy to create content around it.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And it sounds like a lot of that, like consumption-based businesses or even B2C to kind of boil it down to
Yeah,
tax, but like where they're actually communicating with the customer to buy directly,
exactly. Yeah,
versus a
yeah,
business kind of selling to a business, which is a little bit different. So,
totally.
well, that makes total sense. And for you as a business owner, what do you think is the best way to connect with you guys or get started with a first step? Or do you do like a free evaluation? Like, tell me about what your first step looks like.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, just sunnycollabs.com, you can fill out a collab with us form, whether you're a brand or if you're an influencer, model, or creator, there's a separate form for you there. If you're a brand, you just fill that out, and then someone from our relationship team will be in touch within a few hours and just to set up what we call a discovery call, right? So we
Okay.
spend about 20 minutes chatting through them, their goals, their brand, and then we can give them a proposal. We have 4 very kind of perfected packages that we've seen have worked over time. So it's not a big game around like charging less, charging more, doing whatever. It's just these are 4 packages. They work really well. So if you just want to see those 2, you can shoot us a note and then we're happy to send it
Okay.
over.
Cool. Easy enough. So just go to your website and get a discovery call and probably
Yeah,
learn a lot just through that process, even talking to
hopefully.
you and talking through things. So
Yeah,
very
no, they're so
cool.
fun too.
Yeah. And because you're such a young company, I'm curious to hear kind of what's next. What's kind of the next challenge in front of you that you're overcoming, that opportunity that you're seizing that you haven't yet. What do you really focus on next?
Yeah, so over the next year, we're really focused on expansion in terms of finding more creators in Tampa as well as across the state and potentially the country, and working with more e-commerce brands. We see a huge opportunity for that. There are a lot of studios out there that just shoot product photo and video for these
Mm.
brands, but not necessarily the lifestyle with all the models. A lot of these studios charge $95 to put a hand in the content. And if you want the hand to have a manicure, it's $150, which
Wow.
again, for a small business is not feasible. So we want them to just be able to ship us product. We'll make great content and then give it to influencers to take home and post about. So we want to get that message out there so that we can help as many kind of small businesses as possible.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So really just continuing to get your message out, what you're working on, and building more of the creators as well as the clients that are a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
For you, if you think about like, even in just a younger business, like what have been kind of the biggest lessons, or maybe it's just a mantra that you kind of brought into this business. I see my Angelo behind you, but like, what is something
Yeah.
that you really like think about, or a lesson that you carry with you?
Yeah, so Adam Mosseri, and I'm sure this quote came from somewhere else, but he's the head of Instagram, and he said something really interesting with the launch of Threads and how hard they had been
Hmm.
working on it, and now it's printed out and going to be in our office. But he said, make it work, make it great, make it grow. And I feel like that's kind of been our mantra literally since I saw that. I was like, oh, that literally makes sense. Everything we've done has been about just like figuring it out, going with gut decisions, right? Like there's no roadmap for owning your own business. Like
Yeah.
everybody does it differently. So for the first year, we really just made it work. Second year, we're about making it great. And then obviously in year 3, we really want to see it grow. And so that's really our mantra. Yeah, that's kind of what we're focused
I
on.
love it. Yeah. And it's funny because you do that for others too.
Yeah, I
If
know.
you're working with a
But yeah,
business.
that's what we
So
want. We just want, I want to see the team happy. I want to see the team growing. I want their opportunities as employees within Sunny Collabs to grow. And then same thing for our creators and our influencers.
that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
For you, Kayla, as an individual and the leader of your business, what really like gets you inspired and motivated, like excited to get up and go do this stuff every day? What is it for you?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I know it's going to sound cheesy, but I genuinely love helping people. I love that we're doing a service for people. So that's very like, from a fulfillment standpoint, it's very clear a to-do list that gets checked off and you feel like you delivered what you said you were going to deliver. So that alone is very inspiring. But now we have, for me as a leader, I have a team. Like I have a team I'm responsible for, right? And they need coaching and support and love. And so that alone gets me up every day because I don't want to let them down. And then if I
Yeah.
let them down, they're going to let our clients down. And it's just a ripple, right? And so that inspires me. And plus everybody like on our team is just so enthusiastic and eager. So it's like they want that. They want we have a young team, social media in general, but especially our team is definitely like, 22 to 27 or something. So making sure that they have support. This is still like some of their first jobs, really, or their first
Yeah.
step in career. So that inspires me because I want Sunny Cloud to be a trampoline for anyone who works with us. You either jump higher with us or you jump off to something even better. And so
I love that.
I don't ever want it to be a place where they're like, oh, I work at Sunny Clouds.
Yeah, I love the trampoline. That's so
Yeah.
great. Perfect. I guess just as a final thought, is there any other way that's great to connect with you? I mean, obviously you're content generating machines, so over there. So,
Yeah.
is there a
Instagram, we
good
love.
channel to connect with you on, or a newsletter or something like that that would be great content for people to keep
Yeah.
reading if they're not
Yeah.
ready?
If you do go to our website and you sign up as a brand, we do a marketing newsletter every week. So even if you just want to get more info and share it with your teams, like for sure, go ahead and sign up. And we have one that just went out this morning at 9 a.m. talking about some of the latest updates with Instagram. And then you can always follow us on Instagram, which is just Sunny Collabs. And we have content going up there a few days a week, mostly highlighting our network and some of our clients.
Cool. Awesome. Well, it's been so fun to get to know you and Sunny Collabs, and thanks so much for the time. And if you're out there and you've got a product or some food to get pushing or some gym to fill, you know the place to go. So definitely sign up for a discovery call and learn more. Thanks so much, Kayla.
Thank
Really
you. I appreciate
appreciate
it.
it. Have an amazing day.
You too.
Bye-bye.